Well, good morning. Here we are, finally setting off on a holiday of sorts. At the beginning of this year, before COVID, we had a trip to Bavarian, Garmisch-Partenkirchen, or however you pronounce it, for the BMW Motorrad Festival, and obviously that's cancelled. We thought we might still go, but then we had to quarantine when we came back, so that was done. We were due to go on the 1st of July, so I cancelled the trip. Now, the ferry's holding over our tickets in credit till next year, which is fine. So we started to look for other things to do, and it looked like it was just too much to do to get abroad. So we figured Isle of Man for a week, on the west coast of Scotland for a week, and everything looked fine until it came time to confirm the ferry tickets, and the question was then asked, are you a resident of the Isle of Man? Oh no, right, well you can't come. So that was the end of that. So anyway, long story short, after a lot of chopping and changing around, a lot of reorganising, my mate Eddie, who's in front on the Beamer K1300, fire breathing monster, the bike, not Eddie, we're off to do a bit of camping. Not done a camping holiday since my children were small. Well, I've camped overnight at the odd bike I do, but that's just you know, pitch the tent, get drunk, sleep in it, come home. Actually camping this time. So I bought myself a new tent. The one that I've got that I've used for this stuff, it's great, but it's like a 5-man tent, so it's far too big to stick on the back of the bike. Well, I could have put it on here, but it's heavy and it's very difficult to put up on your own in the wind. So I've gone for a smaller one, and I'll maybe take some video of the proceedings whilst we're away. So we're heading off to Scotland eventually, but we're going to have a bit of a thrash around the Yorkshire Dales today. Heading off to a biker cafe up there for breakfast. And then onwards. So I'll update you as we go along. So as we head up, as you can see ahead, the weather is somewhat overcast. It's expected to be a bit windy, and we're going to get wet at some point. But we're on holiday, and that's what really matters. It'll be good for good company, Eddie. So I'm looking forward to some good crack. And unlike other trips we take away, not that there's any problem with that, but they tend to get a bit boozy. I don't think this one will be that way, so which is nice to make a nice change. So I'm looking forward to a relaxing few days. So I think today, Yorkshire Dales, top end of the lakes. I think we're going to camp the first night somewhere around Dumfries, I think. Then onward up towards Fort William, possibly around Loch Ness. Not sure yet. We're going to just see where fate takes us. But looking forward to it. It will be good fun. Also, I've got all my textile gear on today, with all the linings in. So I'm a tad warm because it's 19.5 degrees. So, hey-ho. Can't have everything. But the wind's getting up a little bit now. So I've got some new stuff to test. A camping stove. again, the stuff I've used before I've always put in the car, so it's been fairly bulky, so I've got some stuff to sort of reduce weight, and I've been obviously looking around at all the YouTube channels, and I'll give a shout out to the guys where I got the advice from. Camping for Everyone Else is a channel that I've looked at, and he's recommended the Coleman stove that I've got. So I'll link to his channel and his review of it. I love the reviews he's done so far. He hasn't got a massive amount of them, but they're just good, honest, straightforward reviews that are to the point and tell you what you need to know, really. So many thanks to him for that. And it's just daft little things like, you know, when you're away, if you're not staying in hotels and stuff, you're staying in tents, stuff breaks and stuff gets torn and cracked. So great tip that I can't remember where I picked this one up, is rather than carrying a big roll of gaffer tape, I've wound some gaffer tape around the gas canister for the stove, so it doesn't really take up any extra room, which is, you know, it's so simple, so simple. And the first aid kit I normally carry is the one for the car, so it's big, so I've got a nice small one, so there's all sorts of bits and pieces, and I've got medical tape which I've taped around the pen that I carry. Just daft things. So it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to giving you some reportage of how it is. I'm aboard the GS 1200. This is a replacement for my R1200R that was stolen by some nice little scroty types, and I searched around for I thought, well, if the bike's been stolen, I'm going to treat myself to a newer one, and something that was a bit of a higher spec, and I couldn't find the spec that I wanted in an R1200R. But this bike, which is the R1200 GS TE, which I think is Touring Edition, has all the toys that I wanted: adjustable suspension modes, engine modes, you know, sat nav preparation, all the bits and pieces that you need for comfort. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a magnificent piece of kit. And again, I'm not been one for, you know, when I've looked at these before, people have mentioned them, I thought, yeah, alright, I can see they're a good bike, that's why they're selling so many, but nah, it's not for me. But I couldn't have been more wrong. It's a magnificent piece of kit. So far, the only thing I can find about it that I don't like, is on really hot days, my toes get too warm. First world problems, huh? So this is the first time riding it fully loaded. Well, you know, all the gear on. I'm carrying way too much stuff. I know I am. But it's handling it all right. I'm going to overtake after this corner, I think. Get myself into position. Got the engine in dynamic mode, so overtakes are easy. It's just a stunning piece of kit. Just put new tyres on it. Having had a puncture, I couldn't get the tyres that were on it, which were Road Tex, I think. They didn't have them in stock. I'm a fan of the Michelin Road 5s. They used to call them Pilot Road 2, Pilot Road 3, Pilot Road 4. They dropped the Pilot on the 5, I don't know why. They're now just the Michelin Road 5s. Fantastic. Not designed for off-road in any way, shape or form, but I think the only off-roading this bike's going to do is on the grass to turn around. And somebody asked me the other day, so why have you bought an off-road bike? Because I like it. Yeah, but if you're not going to go off-road, well, so what? And I said to her, which was quite cruel, That's where you've got a brain, you're not using that. I bought it because I like it. I rode it, love the way it feels. And there's only one person that needs to be pleased in all of this, and it's me. So it's not by accident I've sold so many. Well, maybe someday I'll do a bit of off-roading. It does appeal to me. So I'm unbelievably happy with the bike. I just happened to be in Barry Robson Motorrad at York, just kicking tyres, you know, like you do. Just had a word with the salesman and said, look, this is what's happened. I've lost this bike and I'm looking to have another. Rode it, loved it, bought it. Dead easy. Things I've done to the bike since I bought it. Fitted the GoPro mount to the front. I did fit one to the side, but it cracked after not very long. I fitted the Givy tank ring, but I've got this tank bag and I've got a big one as well, but I'm using the little one today. I've got it set up so that I can charge my phones and stuff inside. I've changed the DIN plug at the front. Nippy Normans do this neat little thing, which is 2 USB ports in one, and you just take the old one off, put that in, and the BMW plug just plugs on the back of it. Phenomenal. They also do a kit which I bought to take that DIN plug that was on there and put it down next to the battery, so I've got 12 volt power from there, and I can charge the battery. It also means that I can run an air pump from that 12 volt socket, where you can't from these ones because the CAN bus won't let you. And my battery tender goes in there. I've just had to change it from CAN bus mode, which it was in. It was sat nav prepped, but obviously the sat nav didn't come with it, so I bought the Nav 5, which I managed to buy on eBay for 220 something. I was a bit panicky when I first got it because I couldn't get it to upgrade, I couldn't get it to do anything connected to the computer. Turns out the Nav 5 doesn't like USB 3. Who knew? So if that's a help for you guys, I've fitted the grip puppies. Magic. I started to get a little bit of trouble with one of the spotlights. There's a lot of condensation in it, and anyway, it just kept. There is a fuse built into the spotlight system, and it kept popping the fuse. So I bought a new set on eBay, 59 quid, which comes with all the wire and all the other bits and pieces, and they're exactly the same as the ones that came off, so I've just replaced one of them. What else have I done? They didn't come with the panniers. John, the salesman at Barry Robson, found me a pair of panniers in lovely condition with the inner bags. Can't remember what I paid for them. I think 300, which is not too bad. And I found a top box on eBay for 209 quid, including postage. I was delighted with that because they're normally at least 300. It already had the mudguard extender on it. It already had the extra protection at the back to protect the spring. I'm trying to think what else I've done. I think that's it. But it's just a totally magnificent machine. I absolutely love it. It's handled everything I've thrown at it so far. I don't ride it that hard. I ride it in a fairly spirited way, but I'm not the fastest of riders. But I find myself developing lots more confidence riding this thing, just because it's so capable. Well, it's almost like a Swiss Army bike. So I love it, absolutely love it. Like I said, the only thing I can find so far that I don't like about it is that my toes get hot on really hot days. I mean on 30 degree plus days. But aside from that, tremendous. We'll see how she performs over the next 4 days. So we're heading back on Monday because Eddie has to go back to work on Tuesday. This fire-breathing monster that he's on in front of me here is a BMW K1300R. It's a beast. It's just an absolute beast. Obviously he's tweaked it as he does. It's 180 something horsepower, I think it has. It was on it when we went down to the Alps in 2016. Tell everything. He's a very capable rider as well. Bit of sunshine. So we're heading to a biker cafe that I've not been to before. I'm quite excited about that. I've still got the suspension set on one person mode, but the reality is the amount of swag I've got, it's like being to them. When I stop, I must go through the menu and sort that out. Considering I was expecting to get very wet this morning, so far so good. Although it does look a bit dark where we're heading. We're heading up through Boston Spa towards Harrogate. And then out towards Leyburn, I think, to a biker cafe up there, where we will have breakfast. That's a bit exciting. And I'll check in when we get there. Bye for now. Hello again. You join us a little further into the journey. Just ridden through a fairly, it wasn't that bad, a little burst of rain, but the sun is out again. I think this is going to be the type of weather we're going to see. Oh, gravel on the road there. On the trip, it's the sort of weather that's predicted: sunshine and showers. I mean, it's very windy today as well. Getting blustered around a little bit. So pitching the tent might be interesting later. I'll wait till after the corner. You know, the car driver's been spooked and has slowed down to silly speed. Should have gone. But jockey for position here. And there's the opportunity there next. Crap on the road. A couple of things that I've done to the bike that I've just remembered since a little video clip earlier. I've put bar risers on. If I remember rightly, I think the 1.5 to 1.75 inches back and an inch up. Makes a big difference. I'm just sat just that little bit further upright, which makes it extremely comfortable for me. I have lower back issues. I have everything issues. We're getting old. Gust of wind. And I put these extra handguards on, handguard extenders, which have been great, absolutely great. They were nothing. They were at 70 quid off eBay from China, but I thought, plastic, how long can they get it? Anyway, they work, that's the main thing. So we've been detoured quite a bit because the road that we were going to take is shut. So a very awful lot of this territory is unfamiliar to me, but thankfully AD in front knows where he's going. I think, I hope. We'll find out soon enough. No matter, I'm not in a hurry, no particular agenda. There's crap on the road here. Side of that gravel. Well, we stopped for a coffee a little while back. Chatting with Eddie about his bike. He's taken the flappy valve off the exhaust. There's a different back box on it. got a power commander on it, I think, and electric throttle control stuff. So I think standard they're about 175 brake horsepower. He thinks he's got his up to about 185, 186. It's an immense beast. Oh, that 4-cylinder engine. It's incredible. I think for the K1600 they've just tacked another couple of cylinders on it. I think the K1600 is nearer 1700 in reality. 1690 I think it is. I think. So 1300 4 cylinders, what's that, 300 and something each, so another 6 ish. How pretty. Beautiful. This is a stunningly beautiful part of the world, this. Rediscover your wellness. Didn't realise I'd lost it. But if you don't know, you don't know. Puppy! Gravel and crap on the road already. I mean, it's you expect mud and stuff out in the country, but not this much gravel. There you go. Thankfully, my 80's in front, so he gets right over the crappy stuff first, and I get an early warning of it by watching him. Oh, it's nice to be following a rider that's this capable. Oh, says he likes riding with me because we're going at a little bit of a steadier pace than the normal crowd he runs with. Gives him the chance to see the countryside. So we'll sign out for now. I'm just again heading towards this biker calf that's just the other side of Leyburn, I think, and we'll maybe check in there. This is a pretty little place. Cover him. The wind's getting really quite strong, and quite blustery. So we'll just steady away here. A couple of little moments, just tipping it into a corner, a big gust of wind which blew me off laying it into some gravel. But it's good. She just handles it well, just smashing. It's nice for me that my skill level's developed to enough at the minute for that not to freak me out, which is good. But even in these wet and grey conditions, this is a stunning part of the world. It really is. It's just beautiful. Direction we're heading, I can see some clear bits in the sky. It's, if the weather on the trip is what we've had so far, apart from the wind, you know, just sunshine and showers, can live with that. I'm British, I can live with the rain. Join us approaching Hawes. I think we're about 12 miles away from that. Again, just the countryside around here is just stunning. It just is. I don't don't think you'll pick up the majesty of it terribly well on the camera, because they tend to flatten the scenery out, but you get a bit of an idea. Again, climbing a little bit here, so the wind's getting a little bit more blustery. So it's good. Makes it quite a technical ride. Right there, that looks like quite a bit of rain. We're going to go through that, which is fine. We're not made of sugar. Give my jacket a coating of nick wax yesterday, just for extra protection. I'll go to the back of a chair. Got up this morning. My shorts, t-shirt and socks on, came downstairs and slipped on my backside because nick wax and laminate flooring makes for a very shiny, very slippery surface. So I had to mop that up this morning. But look at that scene is just utterly magnificent, even in this weather. Look at it, amazing. So we've got a day riding through this, and then camping tonight up somewhere near Dumfries, I think. But, yeah, we'll just force your way through. Bless you. La, da, 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 must be lovely to live in these places in the summer. In the winter, I imagine it gets a little wild up here.
I'll give up on the cafe, we'll do that on the way back.
Yeah.
I thought we'd press onto horse and stop there and get some chips.
Yeah, no bother.
And then go for...
Yeah, sounds like a plan. We're skipping the Biker Cafe. We're just heading to Hawes, which is fine. The Biker Cafe on the way back. Chip shop time. Woohoo! It was relatively quiet today. It was Bikers Haven, Hawes. Lots of eateries, that kind of thing. It's a really central place in the Dales. What a pit stop. Little bits of tree flying around now, so something else to be wary of. Makes for quite technical riding, which is good, good fun. Just concentration and application of the skills. Wind is quite blustery, like crap on the road here. The mud you expect. Tractors in the fields when it's wet like this, but the gravel, I don't know where that's coming from. Swinnythwaite, that's a name and a half, isn't it? I just leave the camera running for a bit so you get a feel of where we're at. What's that? Hope the wind dies down a little bit for when we're pitching tents later. Otherwise that's going to be interesting. What I'll probably do is set the GoPro up on a time lapse, maybe, to see if I can capture the tent erection in the wind. Give you a bit of a chuckle. This is just such a beautiful part of the world. I mean, I know I keep saying it, but I mean, look at it. Look at it. Lovely patrol box. Last time I was out this way, I came the other way on this road. Not sure how I ended up on it, but I did. Over there. The key thing in the wind and the tricky thing is to stay loose. Tension up and grip and stuff doesn't do you any good at all. In fact, it probably makes it worse. So I'm also, what time is it now? Oh, 10 to 12. By the time we get to Hawes, I'm hoping to hear about, there's a couple of bikes I've been looking at, a couple of historic bikes. One's a 1979 R80 and the other one a 1976 R75-6. Somebody is already coming to view the R75-6, so that might be taken into the market, but I told the guy who was selling it yesterday, if the guy who's coming to see it doesn't buy it, then I want it. It's beautiful, it's just glorious. It's really had a nut and bolt restoration. It's just a thing of great beauty. If I don't get that one, then I'm buying the R80. It's mechanically spot on. It's obviously been owned by somebody who was a rider, not a polisher. The MOTs show usage every year. That's always good. Rather than they're better off being used than they are being sat in somebody's garage rotting from the inside out. So by the end of play today, I should be the owner of another bike. The second bike, how exciting. And just in time for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride on the 27th of September. Ooh, that looks like a lot of rain. Right in our path. Hey ho! What made a sugar? So I'll update on that as we go along too. Look at the crap on the road. Don't know whether that's to do with spotting the rain coming. Inside the road, mister. Well, you can probably see that up ahead, but that's a lot of rain. Extra wind. Staying loose. Staying smiley. It's only rain, I'm not made of sugar. I'm telling myself that. Happy days. But look at this scenery. I mean, I know I keep banging on about it, but look at that. That's just magnificent. Oh, bit of sunshine. Just before the rain. I mean, you're looking around me here, it's just like, it's all's well with the world kind of moment. One of my buddies riding in glorious countryside, finally getting a holiday done this year. It's a shame that the sun isn't shining and the rain isn't there. You get a different flavour for this, but it's just beautiful. Absolutely and utterly beautiful. Cup of hot tea, I think, is the order of the day. I think. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a little bit further along here. There's a big, I don't know what you call it, like a big rock face. Bluff? Do you call that a bluff? I don't know. I think that's along here. Nice little spot. Can't remember the name of the village. I've only been through it once before. Well, maybe twice. So it's lunch in halls. The strange sort of thing that it's the temperature is right for lightweight stuff. What is it? Let's have a look. It's 18 degrees. But because it's wet, you have to put the sort of bigger gear on, which makes it a bit too warm. You've got lots of layers. Well, layers in the jacket. So the outer layer, then an inner waterproof layer, then a thermal layer inside of that. And same with the trousers, so like the Michelin man. Oh, it's such a shame that rains, so you'd be able to see along the valley here. But even so, it's still lovely, lovely, lovely. So I'm quite excited about having a new bike. My other half says I should buy both bikes. How lucky am I to have another half that thinks that way? And ride one and restore the other and sell it. But I don't know. I'm not sure. So the guy who's selling them has an R100. It's very pretty. R100 RS. It's being renovated, and this R76-6. So you're going to buy a couple and look at those two bikes. He'll choose which one he wants. I looked at the R100 RS. Don't think it's quite right for me. I mean, a beautiful piece of machinery, but not quite right for me. So the R76-6 and the R100 RS, new one's 399.5 for each of those. The R80 is 2.6, which is a good price. And they've got all the waterproof gear on, so that tells a story. So if we should be pulling over and putting the gear on, maybe. Here comes the rain. Well, the stuff that I'm wearing is reasonably waterproof, not fully waterproof, but I suspect we're going to test how waterproof. There's the rain. Mind being wet, I don't mind being cold. I don't like being cold and wet. But the reality here is that it's 80 degrees, so it's not cold. Got a friend who's Norwegian, Roger. If you're watching this, Roger, hello. He always says there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothes. He's not wrong. Oh, look at that. Please. So I'm not sure what we're going to do food-wise tonight when we get there. I suspect we'll be pitching the tents and then heading into town and go for curry or something like that. Who knows? All very relaxed. No real tight agenda. Just writing about having fun. They say the rain might be easy, but it isn't. But that's fine. Oh, look at that. Oh, lovely. I'll leave the camera running now until we get into Hawes. It's not like this all the way up, and even then, even if it is, so what? Doesn't matter. I'm not going to let anything spoil it. When I think back to when I was a youngster riding bikes, the waterproof gear we had was just awful stuff. At the time we spent sheltering under bridges and motorway viaducts and stuff, just trying to get dry and warm. Because the gear we were wearing was just pants, just rubbish. Jeans, t-shirt, leather jacket, unbelievable. Maybe a half decent pair of boots. Maybe some gauntlets. It's terrible. I remember getting my first barber jacket and thinking, oh, this is just tremendous, this, but when you compare it to what I'm wearing now, it's, you know, well, there just is no comparison. Sheep taking shelter in the leeward side of that wall. I think as we come in this way to Hawes, I think we go through the cobbled street bit. I think. Not 100% sure. He knows where he's going. So this is Hawes, historic market town, or auction mart. The local farmers would come in with their livestock. Yeah, I think this is the little cobbled bit, which is going to be fun in the wet. Nice green van. Not much trade there, I wouldn't have thought. This is obviously the old part of town. Ingrid Flutes, what a name that is. Test the traction here, a little dab on the back brake. Yeah, it's a bit slippy. It's a tight U. Cafe up here on the right. That's probably where we're going. And maybe while we have lunch the rain will pass. Who knows?
It can only get better.
I'm wet. And we're recording. We're recording for posterity. Say hello to the bicycle, Katanga.
That's a run.
It does make life somewhat interesting getting on with the tent and everything on the back.
I actually like it because there's a bit more weight on it.
Yeah.
It's wet.
Well, there's that little bit more weight, but it's not wriggling around kind of weight. Onwards and upwards. There's the wind getting up again. So the Pennygarth Cafe, where we would normally go, was shut, so we've gone upstairs to the Wensleydale Pantry. Absolutely delightful. Very tasty. Reasonably priced. What's he doing? Well, that was helpful. Stronger. That's the petrol station that has the automatic payment thing, which confused me a little while ago. So we're cutting across probably to like Kirby Stephen Way, and then from there heading up on towards Carlisle, avoiding motorways wherever possible. On the road. Just had a lovely lunch stop. It's a very nice 80 bought breakfast, and the the waitress said to him, "Are you paying for it all together?" He said, yeah. So I said to the waitress, "We're not a couple." And Eddie said to her, "Yeah," pointing at me, "I could do better than that." That's a bit harsh, but funny. So that set the tone for the trip. Oh, look at that scenery. Oh, look at it. Just phenomenal. Look at that. If we had good weather, everybody in the world would holiday here. Look at it. It's just magnificent. Absolutely stunning. It's getting a bit blustery. That wind is very strong. A normal sort of Sunday ride out here would be blatting around a bit quicker, but we're not in a hurry today, so we're just enjoying the sights and sounds. Surface is a bit scarred, but as we head up here, I mean, look, this is the scenery here. It's just phenomenal. I mean, I know I keep saying it, but it just is. Stays clear as we ride through this valley, so we can capture the magnificence on camera. camera run for a bit. With a bit of luck we'll capture some nice stuff. Oh, it's 1:20. We've just spent the time bimbling about the place. It's been lovely. Very nice indeed. A very pleasant 4 hours we've been out and about. La da da. Bout of rain ahead, I think. The wind is obviously, as we get higher, the wind's strengthening somewhat. Very dark looking clouds ahead. Wary, of course, in these parts that there are occasionally sheep that get loose. They don't. Yeah, definitely some rain ahead of us. They don't have a lot of road sense sheep. But it's a bit quieter here than it would be on our normal run out here, because it would normally be a Sunday would be out here, the place would be full of tourists. Sheep loose. Joys of the Yorkshire Dale. Dales. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Normally when we're out this way we would cut across to Ribblehead Viaduct and then cut back on the A65, but we're heading in a more Carlisle type of direction. Yeah, here comes the rain. What a shame, it's just spoiling the scenery, as it were. Spot up on the hillside there. Gravel on the road. away from anywhere. It's a long walk for a dog with very short legs. Oh, unless they live there. And that's us entering Cumbria. And of course, as we enter Cumbria, it starts to rain. That's how all the lakes got there. Is that on the Settle to Carlisle line? I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. How pretty. Oh, nice little waterfall cover down there. As we stop, the bikes are absolutely filthy. All that crud on the road. My nice new tool bag that hangs on the back got dirty. I'm distraught. Not really. Stream's running quite hard. Clearly had quite a bit of rain here. Nowhere there. Again, it must be a bit bleak in the winter, I would have thought. Mostly glorious in the summer though. Probably makes up for it. But we're going to turn the camera off now. We'll turn it back on when we get to some interesting roads. Just gone through a bit of a a bit of a downpour. But it looks like we're heading out and it looks like it's clearing, so I thought, well, I'll turn the camera back on. It's an awful lot of crap on the roads. It makes for a testy ride, which is alright, it's good fun. We're riding at a lovely steady pace. It's nice. So take in the scenery, really. Unfortunately, lots of dead animals on the road and bits of tree, gravel, mud. And the wind swirling around and shuffling us all over the place. But it's fantastic that the rain has stopped coming up here, so we should get some good footage. These roads are great. Love this bit. We've been on some fairly narrow tracks just recently. They're alright, it's nice, but lots of crud on the road. A little bit clearer here. I think the camber is more defined here, so the rain has washed the crap to the side of the road, which is good. Where this gravel's coming from. There's somebody driving out here and dumping it on the road. Don't understand. Oops, bits of tree everywhere. Big lumps of tree are right on the line we want to take. It looks quite bright ahead, so I'm hoping it does open up nicely because the scenery is just great. I want to try and capture it. How's that for a view? Right, let's come over a cattle grid, so there'll be sheep floating about. Be a bit more careful. But look at that lovely, lovely view. There's the sun coming out, just showing itself on the top of that peak. With a stiff breeze, we should dry off fairly quickly. That's quite a strong wind. So back over another cattle grid, so we should be free of sheep. Should be. Skid risk, what have they been doing? and that horrible cheap way of fixing the roads they do. And it's nice when you're out in the Dales, and some of the roads are fantastic because the Tour de Yorkshire comes through here, so of course it gets resurfaced in places, which is nice. Makes it lovely to ride on because it's very grippy. So we're just going to crack on now, I think. Past Carlisle. Through on up to Dumfries. He's picked up a carrier bag. It looks like it's going to shake itself. It's on his footrest. So if it was on the other side, I'd flag him down because it would melt on his exhaust. Put that carrier bag up and then potentially put it down a different county. Old one and all. Look how pretty. It's a very narrow bridge. Thank you. Like paragliders. Da, 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 da. Tennis courts, that's a bit civilised. It's on his gear lever, that's why. Sedberg. Well, I think it's Sedberg the locals call it. North Pennines here. Well, is this North Pennines? Yes, I think it is. Or are we already in the fells of the Lake District? Imagine having that as your view when you have your breakfast. Oh, utterly magnificent. And Tweed. I wonder if that's the people's surnames who own it, or whether that's what they sell. Can't imagine there would be a tulip shop out here. So I'll turn the camera back off for a little while and we'll see you again in a little bit. Now we've turned off the beaten track, thought I'd record this little bit. I don't know whether Aries sat nav's found the shortcut. But this certainly looks interesting. But the scenery around it's just great. Just it's no bother, is it? Look at that. Look at it. Utter magnificence. Yeah, it looks like we're turning. Oh, I was just going to see if I could grab that. Yeah. Well, after some deliberation, we decided we're going to continue on this route. See where it takes us, see what happens. Who knows where it may take us. To some farms, I think, judging by the amount of cow crap on the road. Oh, look at that. There you go, we would have never seen that. Isn't that pretty? Victorian engineering. I'm not a fan of the seat position that the tent forces me into. Just my knees are just bent just a tad too much. But hey ho. Stretch out a little. Getting narrower and narrower. Noticed any passing places either. So it's going to get interesting. Look at that scenery. I mean, look at it. It's the utter magnificence. Narrow down. That's widening out a little bit here. The B6257, if you want to look for it. Side of this hill. That's a view and a half. And that across there, I believe, is the M6. I'll leave the camera running for a bit. See what sort of scenery we pick up. So, I don't know how we're going to be fixed for electricity, the places we're stopping at, so I brought a couple of power banks. One's by tried and tested 10,000 milliamp one, which I can get about 2-3 charges of my phone from. 2 definitely, and I should get the camera needs to be able to charge. And I can charge the power banks up using the USB on the bike. And I've got a new one. Delivered from the UK. £14 it was, I think £13.95, and it's supposedly 100,000 milliamps. So I should get about, I don't know, 20, 30 charges of my phone. That's the theory, but how will it work with cameras? Well, I recognise that hillside there, yeah. And Kendall's not that far from here, actually. So we're going to test that out. I had a charge of my phone the other day, it was on about 20% I think. So I'm charging my phone and the battery pack that's with it. And it took it up to 100% and used 10% of the power bank, so we'll see. But if we have power where we're going, somewhere I can charge, I've got a 5-port USB mains charger there, so we should be able to record everything. I've got a ton of a ton of SD cards with me. So anything that's of interest. Oh, look at that! How pretty! Oh, lovely. That, I believe, is the West Coast main line. Oh, here comes the rain again. Which runs alongside the M6, so we're going underneath the M6, I think. Yes, we are. Or perhaps towards Kendal. That's the M6. Avoiding motorways like the plague. We don't want to be on motorways. We're going to spend a bit of time flying around in the lakes, but it's just the weather's a bit. Yeah. If there's anywhere it's going to rain, it's the lakes. But I mean, look at that! Isn't that lovely? That's just beautiful. So we'll cut in here a little bit, then head up north, I think, up towards Carlisle. Wind is strong. Which is why I suppose all the bits of tree are lying around the place. Cloudcatcher Fells. Tell, I suppose, from the camera footage, but the wind is really quite forceful. Forceful? Is that the right way to describe it? Strong. That'll do. Jesus, that wind's strong, isn't it? Yeah. I'll leave the camera running here just because of the beauty of the scenery, but that was a lovely little road. pleased we did that. Gorgeous. But look at this. Isn't that just amazing? Sunshine up that valley there, look. That's where we're heading. Right again there, and this sort of wind is actually quite energy sapping. Oh, that was nice of them to warn us about that. Jesus. Go back and move that, I think. Oops, you're in neutral pillock, that's why it's not working. Ooh. He's got to get it. That's leaned over too far. Let's take it back a bit like that. I'll just stop for a minute and have a little look around. That's clean. Yeah. Look at that. Just lovely. Yeah, that was a bit like you came round the corner and went, oh shit! That's not what you expect, is it? Half a barrel. All right. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Very pretty.
This is the old road.
I'm pleased we took that little road. Wasn't that lovely?
That was mint, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I tell you what, on a nice sunny warm day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the wind's there. Yeah. We're now on the B6260, heading north from T-Bay out towards Appleby. Just trundling about. That's just we got all day. It's just enjoying the scenery. Oh, look at it. Look at that. The only downside is, of course, up this side the wind is very strong. Whoa. Quite a bit of rain ahead of us there too, but that's fine. It's a bit barren up here. Not a lot grows just because of the wind rips across it all the time. But very pretty. We've come over a cattle grid to get here, so there will be sheep loose. We'll have to be super careful. Eyes moving all the time. Get the other side of Carlisle and stop for fuel. We don't get spooked easily, the sheep here. Always try and go across cattle grids at 90 degrees to them if you can. Less chance of losing traction. There always seems to be a build-up with gravel before them for some reason. So it's double trouble. And of course today it's wet and it's windy. Perfect storm, so to speak, to coin a phrase. He's found some nice little tracks today, that's for sure. I think he's just got his sat-nav set on twisty roads, which is great. Keep an eye on the tyre pressures. 2.4, 2.8, actually 2.5, 2.9, but it is cold, so I imagine a lot of the people that live up here work from home. You have to really, wouldn't you? You couldn't really commute from here, and certainly not in the winter. Sign off for now until we find something a little bit more interesting. See you in a bit. So we decided to take a bit of a detour. Since we're so close to shop, we're going to ride over it. So this should be interesting. I imagine by the time we get up the top of here it's going to be a bit more wild. But that's part of the fun. To maintain traction when you're riding over bits of tree. And that wind's relentless. very strong. It's going to be fun putting the tent up. Bavarian Lane. Harberwain. Bavarian Lane. Doesn't even have a B number attached to it, so. An unclassified road. Wicker Slack. What a place name that is. Ooh, that looks like a lot of rain. Now it just says driving on road. So this road doesn't even have a name, doesn't have a number, doesn't have anything. Slow down, red squirrels. Okay. tally by for now. So we just pulled over. I've put my waterproof jacket on because looking ahead it looks like we're going to go through quite a bit of rain. So a slight change of plans. Because we've been messing about all day. Totally around, it's 2:45 now. We're still quite a distance off. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off on get up towards Penrith on the A6, which is what we're on now. And then pick the motorway up for a little bit. Just smash a few miles out just to make up for our dicking about at this end. It's been great fun. So I've got the waterproof jacket on. I haven't put the waterproof trousers on. Maybe I should have done. Well, we'll see. But looking ahead there, it looks like we're going to go through quite a bit of rain. So this is good. So I'm toasty warm because I've got way too many layers on now. And the waterproof outer means that it's getting a bit warm in here. But it's been a fab day. Even though the weather's been a bit wild, been a lot of crap on the roads. Sit still. Thank you. The wind's been really fierce. So yeah, we're going to pick up the motorway, hammer on up to, we'll probably come off the motorway a little bit further up, call it the Dumfries fuel up there. I've got about 116 miles of fuel left. The lady's got about the same. Get a coffee, and then we're about a half a mile away, half an hour away from the campsite then. Oh, nice, that'll get us there, probably at 5 o'clock, which is what we're looking for in the first place. Happy days. Then I think it's a case of get the tents pitched, get a shower, get changed, and then probably pop out for a curry. Or something. So we've knocked a few miles out on the waterway. It's the wind has been interesting. We came up over the River Eden where it sort of opens out to our left. The wind was up really quite fierce. Both got blown across to the middle there, and just to the end, just on the white line. Well, there's nothing there. It's a bit scary to be fair. Now there's another area up here where it opens out, so I'm expecting to get a bit battered from the wind on the left, rather. Nice loose grip on the handlebars and being ready for it. We'll place myself to the left hand side of there. There it is there. So that there is room for me to move across. That wind really is quite fierce. See that wagon yet? Probably a sudden then change in a second. There it goes. Again, there's a lot of trees here, then it's open on the left, you see the gap in the trees, so expect the wind there. Yeah, sure enough. So there's a level of predictability. Again, here we're shielded by a fence, so when that fence ends, you can expect a bit of a gust of more wind. You know, if I'm telling you stuff you already know, then I apologise, but if you don't, then this is worth knowing. again as we come up behind the wagons. We're going to end up overtaking them. So as we go past the wagon, we'll get sheltered from the wind. As you get past the front of it, expect the gust of wind to hit you from the left. So there's the shelter pulling in the water, there's the gust of wind. So if you're ready for it, get a nice light grip on the handlebars, a firm grip of the tank with your knees, control. It's still loose. Tighten up the tense up, it's not really any good at all. Big open space going from the left. You can see the trees the way they're bent. Clearly get a lot of wind here. Get a grip with the knees, loose on the handlebars. There it is. Getting a lot of wind across there because of course it's blowing straight across the sea and in. So then he's got the smart thing, just drop a bit of speed up. Warning of high winds, yeah. Yep. Of course, riding in these kind of conditions saps your energy. Get across it's really good. So we're crossing the border of Bonnie, Scotland. Welcome to Scotland. That wasn't fun at all. Really quite wild, in fact. Stay on the right, heading on up towards Dumfries. By the looks of things, a bit of rain in the sky ahead of us. That wind is phenomenal. Certainly a challenging day to ride. We'll turn you off for a little bit and see you a bit further down the road. Well, here we are in Dumfries. We're in here for fuel and a cup of coffee and a look around. Looks like a nice old town. Hey. Little stifled sneeze. And my sinuses go bleh. We'll get through some pretty pretty buildings. That lovely old church. Never been here before. It's a part of the world I've not seen. Open. Onwards, upwards. Aggravate the locals. Our friend in the van doesn't want us to filter. Let's see. Bless him. There's the rain again. This place is even prettier with the sun shining on it. Reminds me of Perth actually, a bit. So pretty.
don't freeze.
Jesus, the wind. I don't know how much you can hear the wind, but it's just wild, absolutely wild. But we're just coming into Castle Douglas, where the campsite is that we're staying today. And just as we're arriving here, the wind has increased, but the rain has stopped. And there's a little bit of a parting of the clouds, and I can see some blue sky. So that's good news, although putting the tent up's going to be fun. Jesus. This wind is horrific. Such a shame that it's not sunny. The scenery to my left here just looks awesome. The bit of luck might be a little clearer tomorrow. I'm going to find out. So we're filled up with fuel already, ready for tomorrow. How many miles we've done today? So I've done 230, and a lot of that on little roads. So it's been great fun, great fun. So the wind is set to half in speed at 8 o'clock, so it'll be down to about 25 miles an hour then. There's between 45 and 50 miles an hour at the minute, which is actually strong. 40 mile an hour is gale force. Oh, sunshine. The wind is just relentless. So I think I might be 2 men to pitch each tent, I think. We might even wait a little longer, pitch the tents a little bit later on, because the wind is just wild. And it's set to reduce at 8 o'clock. Gets dark about 8:45, I think. Although we're a little bit further north, so it might stay light a little bit longer. Well, 54 degrees north. Jesus. We're on the A75 here, on the road towards Stranraer, and we're camping somewhere around here. I'm not 100% sure. Eddie booked it, but we're not far away. So a mixture of really small, windy, twisty roads today, very strong winds, heavy rain at times. It's been quite taxing, but fun, great fun. Well, my normal RST jacket was doing alright. The extra coat of knickknacks on it. It was doing okay, but put this, my new Risha over jacket on. It's really good. Means I'm a little warm under here. I'm ready for a shower. Jesus. This last hour and a half we've been absolutely battered by this wind. So tomorrow we'll get a little bit of relief from it. I'll leave the camera running now until we actually reach the campsite. I'll edit out the bits I don't want or don't need. That's something I've not done before. I might add a little music in. We'll see. It's been a great day's riding. Good fun. It's a good laugh, so we stopped for breakfast and for the couple of coffee stops we've had. We might end up not heading out tonight. I don't know about Eddie, but I'm feeling a bit tired. Maybe find a supermarket and just get a nice bottle of red and just chill out. See what facilities there are at the campsite. Kukubri. We had relatives that lived here. Jesus. Now those clouds look a bit ominous. The problem is it keeps changing direction in the wind. I don't know if we're right in the middle of the weather system that's causing it. The clear sky above us might indicate that. We're getting battered from all sides. It does make riding really quite difficult. Chaps. Now this time of day all the cars coming the other way with the headlights on. Might tell us a little bit about the weather we're about to head into. Jesus. Happy days. We're ready for a nice hot shower, not much I do know. The wind was from one direction, you can start to think about it and predict, looking for gaps in the hedges, but it keeps changing direction like this. Really strange. Difficult to deal with. But again, another nice challenge. Don't let a look at that cloud formation ahead of us. Again, as with most things, with a little bit of positive throttle always helps, just settles the bike, keeps it planted. remember being in Stranraer when I was a kid, really small, and I think we were visiting my Uncle Donald, who was my mum's younger brother. Jesus. Don't remember much about it. I remember a drunk buying me an ice cream. Well, I hope we got some shelter at the campsite. A little bit of shielding from this wind. It's relentless. Oh, that wind's horrendous. It keeps changing direction.
You need F1 racing, F1 car racing.
The what?
Like your F1 car racing. F1.
It's alright.
Yes. It's road card was fine.
Oh. I don't know if you picked that up. This apparently is where David Coulthard was born. You wouldn't look at this place and make a connection with Formula 1, would you? Very pretty little place though. So yeah, my memories of this area are very vague. I was really small. I do remember we were on the beach and the tide was coming in, and we ended up having to climb up this bank. I remember being ridiculously scared. I still remember it. I was so scared. And my dad said, it's alright, don't worry. Don't worry. My backside was falling out. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't say F1, does it?
No. It's a haulage contractor, and they've still got the haulage yard now.
All right.
That's good actually. Look into it.
Here's the rain again. The visor up, it actually stings when it's hitting you. It's coming that hard. tired of the wind now, tired of it. Kind of turns what would be a very easy ride into quite a testing one. I need to be out of the wind now. I've had enough of it. Definitely. Well, I wonder how many other holiday makers we'll see when we get here. We're set for better weather tomorrow. Still not brilliant, but better than this. Org was that place called? Org, huh? Assimilate. So I think I'll sleep tonight. There's another bank of rain. Look at it. Oh, what's that there on the right? Gatehouse of Fleet. That's interesting looking old building. Bargedes Castle. Lovely. And in the morning, if the weather's better, we'll make it the drone up. Again, we're not pressed for time tomorrow. We don't have any deadlines to keep, nothing like that. It's just all fairly chilled, which is good. Da-da-da-dee, da-da-da-dee.